sorry, I'm a little bit late to pick up my thing because right at the last minute, Bargy demanded feed, and feed her I had to. Okay, hold on a second. Let me just get my Twitch account to give to someone who just said they'd like to follow me. Hold on a second. Okay. Alrighty, so hello, myopic duck. Hey there, Glaucus92. I hope you're going well. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different because I'm a little bit sad. And apparently what I do when I'm sad is think, oh, I'm gonna do a stream. I thought that I picked up. Hold on a second. I just left behind something which I needed to pick up, and I thought that I did, but apparently I didn't. Gosh, my brain. Okay, I'll be right back. Sorry. Where did I put it? Okay, I'm back. I'm so sorry, everyone. That was very unprofessional of me. Okay, so I wanted to go through a book today, which I may have gone through on stream before, but I can't exactly remember. And in any case, I want to go through it again. So that's what we're doing today, because I said so. Oh, yeah. Okay, so, basically, with my photography course, I have the opportunity to do a photo essay, and I wanted that photo essay to be about ghosts. More specifically, I wanted to look at the concept of the onryo, which is like the Japanese vengeful ghost spirit, as kind of like a fantasy for people who have suffered trauma. So to give you like, oh, it'll be new to you? Great to hear it. I like it when things are new. We like to keep things fresh here at twitch.tv/cav_p. Let me just get into my super secret IP webcam program. Very professional. Where is it? There we go. And I just need to put bun cam on, even though it's technically not bun cam. It's just cam. So to continue on with what I was saying, like literally just 10 seconds ago before I forgot what I was saying. Wait, hold on. Let me do this first. Otherwise I'll get confused. Okay, yes. So I want to look at the idea of, so oftentimes when you've experienced some kind of trauma, I mean, there's a process that you go through. I mean, the freshest content here. Yeah, there's like a process that you go through of coming to terms with what happened to you and then sort of moving on. Sometimes the trauma involves people who have hurt you in the past. And a big part of how people can eventually like move on from that trauma is by forgiving the person who harmed them. It doesn't mean that you would, think that what they did was a good idea, but it's more for your own sake. You're washing your hands of that person by saying, okay, that happened and I accept that it happened, whatever. I'm moving on now. And that's something that's really heavily stressed, I think, for people who have suffered from trauma. But one thing that I think isn't really looked upon in the same positive way, but I think is crucial to the whole coping and moving on process is being allowed to, like allowing yourself to feel angry. I think that anger as an so this is like Cav P philosophy hour here. I think that anger is not a negative emotion. I don't really think that negative emotions are a thing, because if we feel that way, it doesn't necessarily mean that um, you know, it's productive to feel that way, but it's valid. And if we pretend that we're not angry, then, what are you going to do with that emotion? It's not going to go away. You're just going to stay angry but refuse to put a name on it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think that's very true. Not forgiving is powerful. Yeah, I mean, I do think that ultimately forgiveness is, I mean, it's not necessarily the be all and end all, but it is nice to aim for that. It's not always achievable, and that's perfectly valid as well. But I think more importantly, we don't allow people to be angry at all when something like this has happened to them. It's
Stop
the focus.
encouraging
Oh,
Cav.
hey, Tony Unier! Thank you so much for resubscribing. Thank you. Welcome. Yeah, exactly. It's your body's reaction to injustice, and it's certainly a valid feeling, especially when you're going through some kind of trauma or PTSD. Yes, anger can be destructive. Exactly right. It depends on what you do with it, but to deny that feeling, I think, does more harm than good. And I say this as someone who used to be a very angry person, but doesn't really get angry so much anymore. um, but yeah, I think one thing that worked for me, like, I mean, I've been pretty open about the fact that I have been going through PTSD for like two, almost 3 years now, and I feel like I'm kind of on the tail end of it now, thank goodness. But one thing that really stopped me from being able to acknowledge that I had PTSD, and to then be able to do something about it, was I didn't allow myself to, well, it's not that I wasn't allowing myself to feel angry, I just didn't feel anger. And then I was having especially shitty if you've previously you've always been forced to forgive an abuser or something like that. Yeah, like, I mean, a lot of people who are friends and whatever will say, oh yeah, just forgive and move on, forgive but don't forget. And it ignores the process that leads up to the forgiveness. There needs to be a process there. Otherwise, you're not actually forgiving anyone. You're just repressing your hurt, which is not going to help you. But yeah, anyway.
Hello.
So, oh, thank you for following. Fruit Loops, through 7 loops, through 7th loops. I'm not going to dox you, but I think I know who you are. Welcome. I was just talking about trauma and ghosts. Yeah, so one of the things in my situation which sort of helped me to actually get to a point of moving on from the trauma that I had gone through was one day I was just talking about something that happened, like just an incident, to a close friend of mine about something that had happened. And then suddenly I got really, really angry. And I hadn't felt angry at the person who had, inadvertently traumatized me ever, because of the fact that I knew it was inadvertent, the fact that I was traumatized. They didn't traumatize me on purpose. I just ended up being traumatized. So I felt like there's no point being angry, because, what are you going to be angry for? But finally, I was sort of like, wow, this thing that happened to me was garbage. I'm really pissed off about that. And I'm angry at that person because, whether they wanted to or not, they were, they did and said certain things which ended up with me sort of having PTSD. And that's shit. And then, like, that night, I slept so well. And after that, I just felt like a huge weight had been lifted off of me. And it was sort of at that moment that I realized how powerful anger was as part of the healing process of trauma. Or, I mean, it's not necessarily the same in everyone's case, but in my case, it definitely was. Being able to, accept the anger and to feel the anger was a huge part of, me being able to sort of move on from it. Oh gosh, yeah. Fallout from emotionally abusive parents is, I think you can probably relate. It is I think it's a form of PTSD, sort of dealing with the fallout from an emotionally abusive upbringing. Getting angry at them was the first step at me being able to stand up to my mother and eventually cut her out. Yeah, very, very important. But anyway, where I was going with that, and this is where the ghosts come in. So with this photography project, we need to do a photo essay, and I thought, wouldn't it be interesting to explore the idea of healing from trauma and the importance of anger in that process by providing a sort of fantasy of a vengeful ghost. And so Japanese ghosts, not all of them are vengeful. Like, there are some ghosts, well, I think most of the ghosts would fall under yure, which is more like just spirits, where even if something bad happened to them, they just kind of float around. And it's like, oh, that happened to me. Just a little reminder. But then there's ghosts called onryo, which are like the vengeful ghosts. And they're the ones who actively seek out to get revenge for what happened to them. And I thought maybe it would be fun to, compose a photo essay which is like a, I guess, just a fantasy, like photographing a subject, having a fantasy about becoming an onryo. Becoming a vengeful ghost. Hey there, Sophie the Bookworm. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, so as part of that, I wanted to go through this book, which is so good. I bought it in from Osaka History Museum when I was living in Osaka. They had an exhibit on Japanese ghosts and monsters. And it was one of the most amazing exhibitions I've ever been to. It was a history museum, but it was all art. And I didn't really like Japanese traditional art before then, but then looking at how it was used to do scary things, I suppose, was really cool. And so yes, I gained an appreciation of Japanese scary stuff as a result of that. So I thought maybe while I'm doing research for this project, we can look at the book together. I mean, at least just at the pictures. I'm not going to, sight translate the whole book because there's a lot of writing in there. And also I think I could probably read it all right, but I wouldn't know every word because it's specialized stuff about monsters. But yeah, this book is so cool. Let me show you I wish there was some way for me to hold the book and also have this in place at the same time. You know what I mean? I might go grab my stand, because I want to, there's hold on. There's a pull-out. Yeah, it was such an amazing exhibit. So there's a big pull-out which looks at monster tableaus, classical Japanese monster tableaus, and then there's more monsters on the other side. Isn't that so cool? Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, I want to make this a more pleasant experience for everyone. So, sorry. I'll be back in a sec. I'm just going to grab my proper camera stand. This reminds me of the story/urban myth that in New Orleans you can't get a cab in certain parts of the town at night. Not because it's dangerous, but because taxi drivers would unknowingly pick up ghosts who would then disappear halfway through the ride, thus costing the taxi driver their fare. Little bastards. All right, I'll be back in a sec. I'm just gonna go grab my my little camera stand and see if I can set it up so that my camera is not shaking everywhere, because that would be really annoying. If you heard squeaking, that was me talking to my rabbits, which I do. When I'm doing the photography course, I still talk to my rabbits, but I do it with with my microphone muted, so no one in the class can hear me squeaking at them, because that would be really annoying and possibly embarrassing to anyone who listened. I don't tend to get embarrassed, but I'm sure others would. Wait, where did the earpiece go? Oh, there it is. It's down there. Oh, no. Ugh, me and my professionalism. Okay. Here we go. All right, so now... Oh, geez, it's a big process, isn't it? Now I need to put these back on. And now I need to... This is like the new microphone stand that I've got. Like clips onto the table here. That's gonna bend nicely, I hope. Okay. Oh, let's have a look. In Japan, after the tsunami, there was an uptick in taxi drivers reporting ghosts getting in the cab, and it would also disappear halfway through the ride. But because being impolite to Japanese ghosts is a bad idea, the taxi drivers would just go to the destination and open the door and wait a few seconds before going back. Oh! Yeah, that's very sweet. Okay. Oh, I need to remove my... This is another one of those times when I really should like prepare before starting to stream, so it's not like a big thing. No. Okay. How's that? Okay. Should probably move. I need to move everything. God damn. My keyboard as well. Please bear with me. We're experiencing technical difficulties and incompetence. Okay. Oh wow, what's happened there? Oh, I've Control F'd and pressed the space bar. Okay. As one does. Okie dokie, why is this on an angle? Is that better? Yeah, that's better, but now we've got the light up top. That's annoying. Aha! Look at that! Now I can like go up and down as I need to and it won't wobble so much. Gosh, I'm so clever. Okay. So now I just need to make sure the pages don't hit the phone, because that'll be really annoying. Okay, no, there's clearly some more moving stuff around that I need to do. Oh god. Did I mute my... No, I didn't. Everything's good. Everything's good. Everything's fine, everyone. No need to panic. Just breaking everything. It's all good. It's all good. There we go. You're just getting behind the scenes footage. Yes, this is extra value. Oh, and you can also see my little setup here, and you can probably see the chat too, which is also kind of unprofessional. But that's fine, because everyone's used to it. Chatception, I know, right? Oh, actually, this kind of covers up the chat, doesn't it? That's clever. This is by design. Okay, so we've got this book here. I hope you'll enjoy. Hey there, Eric. And Ravane Crowford. Look at that. Look at that. Like, this is the book from the exhibition of the Osaka History Museum. And look at the quality there. That's so cool. Look at that. I'm so happy I bought this book. I just recently bought at the Australian Centre for the Moving Image in Melbourne, I recently bought the exhibition book for their Alice in Wonderland exhibition, which was something that at the time of the exhibition, I think it was like 2018 when they had the exhibition, and I was like, oh, I'd really like to buy the exhibition book. I looked at the price and was like, that is really expensive for what it is. No. And since then, I've always regretted it because it was really cool. And I finally did a little search and I found that they still have some copies. So I've ordered that. maybe we can go through that at some point as well. So here we have the introduction, and I don't know how many of you are familiar with Japanese style ghosts. So they also wear white sheets, but it's in the form of a robe rather than, what we in the West sort of expect. I just love, we're gonna get a higher quality look at this one at some point, and I just love its teeth. It's so cool. I can't wait to read this one day. So far I've been so excited just looking at the pictures. Oh my goodness. I've got a master's degree. I'm like, oh, look at the pictures. So yeah, we've got some ghosts. That's a vengeful ghost, which you can't see because of the... There we go. Over there with the head of some lady. That ghost also has the head of someone. And it's even scarier. Like, look at that. That was made... do we have a year? I don't see a year over here. If I looked it up in the index, I'd be able to find it. But, I mean, this is old art, and it is so creepy. So creepy and effective, in my opinion. Look at that. I believe that is the ghost of Ikuko? Let me see. No, it just says... morning and evening, but I believe it's meant to be Ikuko, who's a yure, so she's not a or is that Oiwa? No, I don't think that's Oiwa. I think that's Ikuko, who is a ghost of a woman who was disfigured and murdered. Prologue: Laughing Skeletons. That's pretty cool. That's one of my favorite paintings of all time, that one of the skeleton. We'll see it in better detail a little bit later. You know the image on the left? You once photoshopped Sean's sunglasses, dude! Oh dear, it used to be your desktop background. It's so cool, isn't it? We can just, imagine that all of these are Sean, I think, safely. But look at that, meditating in the sea. Isn't that cool? Oh wait, you can't see it because of my face, my big head in the way. How's that? Is that better? God. There we go. Hold on, let me... I'll just move this over here so that I can see things in real time and actually know what you can see. Cool. But yeah, meditating skeleton. Spooky and scary. This is a section I remember seeing in person about Japan's relationship with death. I should probably take off my webcam because, what is the point? Like, what do you get out of seeing my face? Ever, but especially now. So this is, Japan's relationship with death, or their understanding of death and decomposition. I think this was based off of Chinese, like a Chinese sort of art trope of what they call the 9 stages of change to... Over here it says the deceased remains. So you can see the... Oh, wait, it starts down there. Yeah, it starts down... Oh, yeah, over here as well it starts at the bottom. So, the person's dead, and they get eaten by wolves, and then they're a skeleton. And then over here, same thing again. So getting eaten by animals... considered to be one of the main aspects. It's a circle of life, essentially. Ah, yes, here it is. Look at that! Look at that! It's so cool! Like, it almost looks like that's the page of a book, and like he thinks he's escaped, but he's like, oh, peekaboo. And like the English translation of the name, a huge skeleton attacking Oyataro Mitsukuni. I don't know who that person is. I don't, like, my Japanese history is pretty bad. It might be one of you who knows more than me about this particular thing. But yeah, isn't it such a creepy picture? I love it so much. I'm actually surprised that they included English translation of the titles. I guess they wanted to see if they would... I guess maybe they could export this book or something? It's a fantastic book. I'm so glad I got it. It was also really expensive. But I was living in Japan at the time, and I had a little bit more expendable income because I was working in an office. I remember working in an office. Okay, so we've got like this guy who's like king of the skeletons. What does it say there? Skeletons fighting against each other in Oyataro Mitsukuni series. Okay, so this is the same guy as in that last picture. 100 Mysterious Stories from Japan and China. There you go. One other thing I love about the design of this book is the fact that it's got these sort of cropped things at the bottom. So that's the original picture. And then to just sort of give the book itself a little bit more pizzazz. Look at that! There's like a little skeleton just sort of like hanging around over there. And then you've got like the skull. Oh, the design of the book is superb. Look at that! Look at that little skeleton man. Hey, thanks for resubscribing. I don't know why we didn't get sound alerts for that, but thank you, Diana Jack. Oh, hold on a second. I just heard Bargy scratching. I need to attend to her. Oh, she's such an ass. You heard it? I just realized that what I can do, given that I'm using the phone as a camera, is I can just take it with me when I have to do things for Bargy, because then you can see what she looks like when she's scrabbling at the door like a horrible little beast. Okay. Ugh. Okay, back we go. All right. So we're almost entering the world of ghosts. Ah, that's so much fall down. Oh my god, why does everything die? Okay, more skeletons. Look at that, watercolor skeletons. Isn't that cool? That's cool. Oh, it's like a little, is that a crib? Can't be. A skeleton police officer driving off the skeletons of a mother and daughter from the graveyard. That'd be right. 1312. Okay, now we've got the world of ghosts. Hope you're all excited. So we've got some of the pictures that were in the introduction here, but bigger. One thing that I really love about these is just the tapestries, how long they are. I wish I could make art that was just like, maybe, I wonder if I can make photographs like in this photo essay that I'm doing, if I can try and reenact or, reconstruct these sorts of tapestries. Wouldn't that be interesting? Yes. Yes, it would. Oh, that never gets old for me. Okay. So there's the toothy ghost again. Look at those teeth. Look at those chompers. Isn't that cool? A little extra close up there. It's called a ghost. Oh, I see. The Ghost at the Graveyard. So that was part of a fan. Ugh. And the best thing about the art exhibition is, I mean the historical exhibition, and I guess it's kind of obvious that this would be the case, but they had all the original things. So the original fan and the original tapestries and all that. It was just so cool seeing the originals up close, you know? Maybe you can do like panorama shots but vertical. Yeah, that would be interesting. Although if I'm doing portraits, I wonder if that would warp the figure. Look at that. So with the blackened teeth. So creepy. And look at the spooky font. I don't know if you can see that there's like bits of like it's sort of scraped. Oh, you can't see it here. It's sort of scraped over there. Like it's not quite smooth, the headings. So you just think, I have so much respect for people who do Japanese and Chinese fonts, because you have to fill in a hell of a lot of characters for if you're a typographer of that kind of font. A little distortion might add to the spookiness. That's true. That's a really good point. See, we've got some more spooky, scary ghosts. I noticed that they often don't have feet. Tell me if you notice this as well, but I think that oftentimes they're just like fully formed bodies. I mean, that's in line with Western ghosts as well, isn't it? Oh, broken plate down there. Someone wasn't careful when they died. Tut tut. I might be remembering wrong, but if I recall correctly, blackened teeth with charcoal were fashionable at points in Japanese history. Was Japanese history? I thought it was in like European history that blackened teeth were popular, but I might just be getting my histories mixed up. Here's another grumpy ghost. This looks more like, you know, if Mean Sean was a ghost, I feel like this would be the kind of ghost that he would be. Don't you agree? Look at that. Look at that. He just doesn't care. Whatever. I love the sepia tone as well. That. More long, stringy bodies. Okay. So I believe most of these ghosts aren't the vengeful ones that I'm looking for. I think this is heading more into vengeful ghost territory. That one, oh, let's get a good look at this one. I like the skull there, you see, and it's coming out of the urn, I guess. Ooh, hello. And then here as well, you've got a skull and a ghost coming out of it. Ghost of a courtesan holding a branch of a cherry tree. That one, no. This one is a ghost comes out of a paper-covered lamp holding a skull. Oh, I see. One thing I really like is that that isn't the title of the picture. The picture is actually like yurezu, like ghost picture. But that is like ara hisashiburi oboeteru, like, oh, long time no see, do you remember me? So they've got like creepy sort of things, like, yeah, okisugiru, ah, too big. So that's called A Huge Ghost Appears at a Palace. It was really cute at the exhibit because they also had like little placards for children to read, and the placards for children were like the ghost talking to the child, like saying, hey, I'm holding the skull of the man who wronged me. Now make sure that your dad is nice to your mom, okay? I think it was this one. I think this is the one. um, where, oh wait, no, that's the wife. I mean, that's the, I don't know which one of these was the original wife, but I think that's a lady? Hold on a second, just let me have a little look. Yeah, I think this is, that's a woman's head. So, is it a spurned lover? Who can say? I mean, I don't think you should take your anger out on the woman, if I'm completely honest, but, you know, I guess it's a bit late now. Was this a common art style at the time, or was this all from one single artist? No, I mean, I think it was just a form of art. You know what I mean? I don't think it was like, you know, the Renaissance art form or something where it was just like the ghost era or whatever. I think it was just, there's mythology around ghosts, and occasionally people would use the acceptable art styles at the time to draw these ghosts and things from mythology. This is quite cool, isn't it? Look at the... Sorry, I'm going to scratch my nose. I love the watercolor here. Isn't that cool? Just the really rough strokes. Oh, you mean how they're drawn? It seems like it varies, the art style, more or less. But I guess there are definitely some trends which are very common in Japanese art of that era, yeah. Look at that. And it seems also like this tapestry sort of thing, having really long pictures, was quite common. To give you some context, this one is from 1867. Whoops. This one doesn't have a year, but the artist lived between 1763 and 1841. So this is all, these two are in the same century, but they're slightly different styles, if that makes sense. The decayed drawing makes it even creepier. Yeah, and imagine like seeing it in person as well. It made it extra creepy. This one really is creepy. I think this is the one about the husband, because it's a ghost holding a man's head in his mouth, and the little caption here says "Good." Oh, look at that! Look at the bulging eyes. It's so scary. And that was 1870. I should probably say the years if I can see them. Here we've got another ghost. The art style here reminds me of something, but I don't know what. Like the kind of shading technique? It feels sort of modern in a way that I know it wasn't. This was painted between 1833 and 1904, the middle one. Oops. Sorry about all the kerfuffle with my stuff that I'm trying to show you. Oops. It's a little bit blurry, isn't it? That's annoying. Can I focus by like clicking on it? No, it's not going to let me focus. Sorry. What if I bring it closer like this? It's a little, yeah, that's better. I love the simplicity of these pieces. Like they have a lot of emotion and feel to them, even if they're quite simplistic in some ways. Very evocative art. Here's some more ghosts. Most of them are just called Ghost, but this one is called It's a series called Ghosts in 4 Seasons. So you've got the 4 seasons of ghosts. I don't know which is which. Can anyone take a guess? Like, I'm guessing the one with the flute is spring. And the one on the left is winter because you can see some icicles falling down. But in terms of which one is autumn, unless the one on the left on the second page is holding an orange, I'm not sure. You think the second one from the right is winter? But what about those icicles there? Or is that rain? It's a mystery, huh? The one on the flute is... Oh, autumn because of the cotton. Okay, I didn't realize that was cotton. I thought that was just flowers, you know? The plot thickens. I love the peeking out behind the curtain ghost. Yeah, I know. I'm here. And I kind of love the way that this person, the one on the left, her face is kind of formless. Is it sheets of rain, perhaps? That's covering the ghost? Who can say? Winter, fall, summer, spring. Oh, that would make sense if it were like in... Wait, no, that's not chronological order. Winter, spring, summer... I don't know. What is the structure on the leftmost picture? It looks like a tent. Or maybe it's something to catch fish? Or something? We may never know. I'm gonna scratch my nose again. Spending too much time around the buns. It looks like water in a cloth. Oh, maybe it is. I just assumed it was an icicle. You could be right though. we could deliberate on this for ages, or I could read the text. But I'm too tired to do that today. I love how you get like a combination between things that look, more on the realism side, and then you've got this stuff which is very stylized. I wonder which era both of them came. I think they were both drawn around the same time, so it would have just been different artists' interpretations of the ghost. They're all called A Ghost. Oh, look at that one! Look at that one, it's so thin! It's so thin and long and it just kind of trails off. I wish you could see the whole thing. It's look at that. That's really cool. Scratching my nose again. Oh, why am I allergic to everything I love? Oh, it's another ghost with teeth. And my eye's itchy. I think the caption here in the Japanese is saying, I want to give milk, but ... I like this one because it's blue. It's the first time that the skin I've seen in the book, the skin depicted as blue, sort of the blue of decay and death and like moldiness. And then you've got a really nice gradient down here too. The face of this one is really cool. I could see it as like concept art for, I don't know, a video game or something. It looks a lot more modern than it is, I think. Like the details are really delicate. What year was that one? 1863 to 1925. Look at that. We're about to get into the vengeful ghosts, I think. Well, more of the vengeful ghosts. Oh, jeez. Everything's Everything's falling apart. Look at this one on the right there. Oh, it's called A Caricature of a Ghost. Indeed. Oh, there's another tooth one. I like the tooth ones. I feel an affinity with the tooth ones. Yeah, I think I'm definitely, when I take these photos, I'm definitely going to have to go for a long and thin one. I can probably aim for like a slim profile and then crop the sides of the photo. And I'd need to have, I think, like a washed out, a white or whatever background and then sort of like make a gradient behind it. I really want to like enact this sort of thing. Oh, I wanted to know about the Seasons Ghosts, but Googling any combination of words gets me anime and manga and computer games. I'm so sorry to hear that. Let me look up the name, see if I can write it for you. Sorry. Let me put a bookmark in it. My work here. Oh no, this is such a... Okay. Yeah, no. Look, I'll give it to you. Are you on the Discord server? I've got such a terrible memory. But if you are, I'll write it up later, so that you can look it up if you want. I think it's the influence of Western painting / painting perspective since it's post-Meiji. Oh, yeah, I can. That would make sense, wouldn't it? That's interesting. Look at that cool ghost. I love the way that they just sort of, they're so soft and feathered. Like there's some really tight line work and it all seems very concise, and then there's just this sort of luminous quality. Whoops. Here's another ghost. We're going to get to monsters soon. Are you excited? Let me ask everyone, Yurei or yokai? Do you like ghosts or monsters? Which are cooler, ghosts or monsters? What even is that? I can't... Oh, I just noticed. I think the face is like coming through... Like that, there's hair coming forward and then there's like the face over there. Wow. Very cool. Also called a ghost. Oh, see you later, Sophie the Bookworm. Thanks for tuning in. This was cool. A study was actually included as part of the exhibition. So this is a study of the painting on the left, the paintings on the left. How awesome is that? And look, there's like some guy or person who got cut out. Maybe it was just like a failed attempt or something. Awesome, right? Both of these were done in 1948. I think this is, pretty sure this is Ikuko. Asatsuyu Yukiri. Yeah, it says, the morning dew, the ghost of Oiwa, and evening mist, the ghost of Okiku. Oh, okay. So the one on the left is Oiwa, who's the one who I'm particularly interested to model, and Okiku is the one on the right. Oiwa is yokai of kitsune, so they're cooler. Ah, yes. I can see that. So, yeah, the one on the left is Oiwa, who is or Oiwa, who's a vengeful spirit, an onryo, who actually sort of seeks revenge. And then, the one on the right is Okiku, who's a Yurei who doesn't really do anything bad or violent against the person who wronged her. It looks as if they're having a chat or a gossip session. That's cool. Similarly disfigured. Whoa! Whoa! Big close up there. That's awesome. Okay, that is a desktop background. 100% desktop background right there. Okay, so next section. Next section is ghost pictures from Kabuki. So ghost stories were often told in Kabuki, and there are some characters like Oiwa, I believe, is famous through Kabuki. And you can see, so often Kabuki plays had like backdrops that were drawn, that were painted for the Kabuki play, which related to the story. That's my understanding anyway. I'm familiar of this. If you're not familiar, there's this, and like if you're enjoying this aesthetic, like the gruesome sort of art, this is Oiwa here. Haunting. 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 Me before my morning coffee. Excuse me. But yeah, if you're interested in looking up an artist who does the Kabuki style, who is known for his grotesque portrayals of and grotesque imagery, look up Ekin, Ekin, and that was the pen name of this painter who came from Kochi Prefecture, which is where I lived for 2 years, and we staged a musical about his life where we sent him off to Neverland, and I got to be a pirate in Captain Hook's crew. And so yeah, we paid tribute to his memory by putting him in a play, in a musical with pirates, as one does. Look at that. Isn't that interesting how the painting sort of hangs down from the thing? What is that? So my understanding with Oiwa is that one of the forms that she takes is coming through a lantern, a paper lantern. Like, how did they frame that? That's really, really interesting. Yeah, Ekin, that's right. He was particularly known for his blood red colors that were quite common in his Kabuki slides. He used to draw very typical sort of Kabuki things, and very, very typical art for the time, and then he disappeared for a number of years, and then when he came back, he was drawing like gruesome things. So no one knows what happened to make him the monster he became in terms of his art. But yeah, so in our play we made it that during that time that he was away, he was in Neverland trying not to grow up. I think the deformation may have more to do with how corpses can blur, or especially if their vengeful ghosts reflect injuries they had at the time of death. Yeah, what happened to Oiwa is that Oiwa was tricked and given topical face makeup, which had some kind of corrosive quality to it, so it melted her face, it deformed her face, and she didn't notice. And then her husband went to murder her because, ordered her death, because he found her repulsive and didn't want to be with her anymore. So he was like, okay, well, no, he didn't order her death. It's actually more gruesome than that. He ordered for a friend of his to sexually assault her because that was grounds for divorce at the time. And then the guy didn't want to do it. And then something happened. She found out about... No, he, instead of assaulting her, he gave her a mirror to look at her face. And then she saw what had happened to her face. And then ran away holding a sword and then fell on her sword or something like that. And then she died. But, of course, when she comes back, she wants revenge on everyone who was involved in her death. Yeah, it's a pretty gruesome story. This is also Oiwa. That's interesting. It's like different replaceable parts there. The ghost of Oiwa placed on a shutter from the kabuki drama Tokaido Yotsuya Kaidan, the ghost story of Tokaido Yotsuya. I wonder what it all means. I really should read all this sometime, you know. I think this is also from the same play. Yeah, so Oiwa haunts him after death. That's Oiwa over there. Ah! No, she ran away holding a sword and then she fell on the sword. Sounds like something he told the judge. Yeah, quite possibly. Okay. Oh, jeez. It's so difficult to like juggle these things, I tell you what. Okay, so this is Ikuko. Ikuko is not a vengeful ghost. She did haunt the guy who killed her, but she didn't actually physically, cause his death. She just kind of hung around and was like, "Hey, remember me?" Yeah. That's her. Again, down here. Ah! Oh, goodness gracious. Don't know what he's holding in his mouth there. She's hanging from a skyhook, you reckon? So Ikuko and Oiwa are both very famous kabuki ghosts. Or ghost stories. Who's that? Kasane. So Kasane is another ghost. I think, I might be wrong, but I think Kasane was murdered by someone, not her husband. And she had a child, and then she gives the child to, she appears to the husband. Oh wait, no. It says here, Kasane being murdered by her husband. Okay, so I was completely wrong there. That's Kasane down there, and that's her husband murdering her, and that's her becoming a ghost. Anyway, there's another ghost who wasn't actually killed or didn't have her death arranged by her husband, and then and she has a child, and then she appears to him, gives him the child, and then they plot to get revenge together. Which, I don't know, that seems like a nicer story to me. A nicer story of deadly murder. This one's cool. What's going on there? The ghost of Togo from the kabuki drama Higashiyama Sakurasoshi. I don't know these stories. I should look all of them up, because I would love to see a kabuki ghost story. I've heard that, I can't remember which drama it was. I think it was one that Ekin was involved in producing the curtains for. Look at that. Look at that sort of cheeky skeleton lantern thing. I like that. What was I saying? Oh yeah, there's one kabuki play. I think it might be The Tale of Oiwa, where... Oh, hello, Reds. What's you doing? What's you doing, Pretty? What's around? What's around, my little ring? What's up, Pretty? But anyway, there's a play... Oh. Slowly the phone is falling down. You better not wee. So In the kabuki play itself, it's showing how Oiwa's face gets poisoned and she becomes deformed. And there's a scene where the actor playing Oiwa, while she's alive, is brushing her hair in the mirror, which is, it's a very, in kabuki style, in the kabuki tropes, combing one's hair as a woman character is meant to be very, very sensual. It's meant to be, quite an erotic thing to do, to brush out your long hair. But this play kind of subverts your expectations there by, as she's brushing her hair, there's like a stagehand underneath the stage who like pushes up black hair. So what that does is it simulates her hair falling out. So her hair starts piling up around her as she brushes it. So even though you're sort of going in thinking, whoa, she's brushing her hair, it ends up becoming this really grotesque sort of scene. I'd love to see that live. I don't know. I gained a lot more appreciation for kabuki when I realized they did ghost stories. Like, you can see that Japanese horror has been a big thing for a long time, and it's something that hasn't just like cropped up in the age of film. It's been sort of present within the Japanese psyche for a long time. Look at that! Oh, sorry, nerd. Look at that! Look at that lady! Look at the skull lady! That's so... like, they all look kind of normal in terms of depictions in kabuki. Well, the central figures, but then all the ones on the side are so weird. What's with the... Look at them! Little frog people! It's so cool! Wow. So that's the Ghost of Togo again. Here's another... I'm not really sure. Is that meant to be the Ghost of Togo? But like, look at those skulls appearing in the clouds. Isn't that sophisticated? This is 1797, by the way. So just imagine this depiction of just creepy surrealist horror in the 18th century. Isn't that cool? I think that's fantastic. Yeah. Anyway, there's another photo coming up, which I think the composition is just brilliant, and I didn't expect it from old art to be that kind of an understanding of composition. So brace yourself. I mean, I'm probably overselling it at this point, but I don't know. I thought it was really cool. So there's some guy with a wedgie hitting that guy with a stick. Sorry. The Ghost of Kohara Koheiji from the kabuki drama Kaidan Kohara Koheiji. So the tale, the ghost story of Kohara Koheiji. Okay, I'm guessing that might be some kind of revenge as well. It makes me want to read up on these stories because there's a lot going on in here, but I don't really know what, Ah! Push that around again. I keep pushing the book back. So I'm guessing here we've got the ghost actually doing the murdering, which is a new one. Like with Oiwa and all that, it was like psychological torture, but it wasn't actually doing the killing, you know what I mean? Get back. Get back to where you once belonged. Okay, here we've got the Ghost of the Wet Nurse, Akishino from the kabuki drama Shiranui Monogatari. So I don't see the ghost. Oh, I see the ghost now! Oh, I feel so silly, like it was right there. It's like the big white thing, right? That's cool. And I guess the same thing happening here. That's cool. Although it kinda, if I'm being really immature, I'd say it looks kind of like she's farting out a ghost. But, you know, we're not going to be disrespectful to the craft here. It's a very cool ghost. I like how translucent it is. You can see it sort of going through there. It's best not to think of it as a fart ghost coming out of this woman's bum. I've ruined it. I can't salvage it. I'm so sorry, everyone. I accept all responsibility. Did the book just jump scare you? And books always jump scare. Everything jump scares me. I'm so sorry about the fart thing. That was very rude of me. Oh, look at that! It's a creepy ghost on the side there. Did I just knock over the... Okay, no, I didn't. Okay, so this is the ghost of Seigen. Is that the sea? No, I think that's like the wind. The wind. Oh, I hate windy days. I'm sorry, I'm in a weird mood now. I think any semblance of good taste in this stream is gone now. Sorry. I need to put a disclaimer. I love this art. I think it's really cool. You know, I'm not making fun of it because I hate it or anything. You know, it's because I admire it. That sounded insincere. I'm trying to be sincere here. Look at that. Oh, it's all blurry. Don't talk to me before I've had my coffee. You mean that one? Yeah. Oh gosh, I forgot to get him his coffee. Sorry. The Ghost of Yasukata. Oh, these are cool. Look at that. Oh, that's the one that's from there. I thought I'd seen it somewhere before. So this is the Ghost of the Wet Nurse again. Look at that blood there. Spooky. Oh, look at the fingers. Wow. Unpaid intern ghost. The Ghost of Iwafuji. If anyone's interested, just look up the kabuki play. Like, look up Kabuki Iwafuni or whatever. I just love the way that they do hair, like the fine brushwork. You can't really see it well, I don't think, in the stream, but it's really cool. I hope this is interesting to people. I'm interested. And, oh, you saw it? Cool. Yeah, it's like that in pretty much all the pictures. The fine work on the hair is just incredible. So here we've got the ghost of Takayama Kengyo from the kabuki drama Hana no Saga Nekomata Zoshi. Why is it that man ghosts can actually do things? The lady ghosts just kind of go, I hate you, I still hate you. And this is going to be difficult to lift up. Ooh, two ghosts. Wow, look at that guy's tongue. Can you see it? Ugh. Oh, little focus. Focus. If I move that back. Please focus. Oh, almost focus. Yeah, it's pretty much focus. It's probably as focused as it's going to get. The ghosts of Kamata Matahachi and Kikuno from the kabuki drama Nanitakashi Tenmari Uta Jitsuroku. Look at his tongue! This is so cool! Wow. Some artists avoid hands. This one says, look at these damn hands. You didn't see the person pointing right at first? Oh. Yeah, the tongue's really cool. Look at that, it's like a snake ghost! And still, the long canvases, they're so cool. It's so different from, the canvas sizes that are normally used in Western art from the same era. They tend to be sort of like big in every direction. A big snake and Sajiro from the kabuki drama Inaba Kozo Amayobanashi. Oh, so that's like the main character emerging from the belly of the snake. I wonder how they depicted that in kabuki. It makes you wonder, like, all of these scenes are just so outlandish. You sort of want to know. Because in kabuki, my understanding is that there are stagehands who are dressed in all black. And they kind of just run around and they, like, there's a fight scene in a particularly bloody kabuki play, and what happens is the stagehands like are holding body parts, and as the person's arm falls off, a stagehand takes the arm prop and like makes it flop to the ground and or fall to the side or something like that. So yeah, it's kind of like as you're watching the play, you sort of forget that they're there. They sort of blend into the scenery, as it were. So you end up with, just all these amazing things happening on stage. And I think that's really cool. Ye olde special effects. Yeah, there's something about ye olde special effects. Look at the translucence of the ghost there. This was 1887. Very, very cool. The ghost of Saijiro. Ooh, there's a cool one coming up on the left. So, it is a very big and cumbersome book, and because I try to take care of the big expensive books that I get because they're big and expensive, so I don't normally open them very wide, which means that when I'm trying to show them to you, they're still pretty much like, like the glue that's holding the binding together is still pretty strong. So what's this? The ghost of Otsuyu peeping into Shinjiro's house from the kabuki drama Kaidan Botandoro. It's a ghost. Interesting, because when I think ghost, I normally think... Sorry, I'm scratching my nose again. When I think ghost... Oh, the buns are behind me. When I think ghost, I normally think that their legs are not visible, like they're ghosts. And in the earlier pictures, we saw that they were sort of depicted with no feet. But I wonder whether, because it's a kabuki play, you can't really hide the feet, so they've started depicting them in that way. Interesting to think about. But now look at this one. If you can. If my webcam will allow it. Look at that! Look at that! Isn't that cool? That is the ghost of Otsuyu from the kabuki drama 100 Ghost Stories Botandoro. Look at that. It's like, yes, commit crimes. Very, very nice. If there's any picture that you want me to give you the name of so you can look it up or something, let me know, and I can put my mouse over the picture. Put the camera over the picture. You can take a screen cap, then give it to me in the Discord for Twitch patrons and subscribers afterwards, and I can give you the name so that you can search it up yourself and get a wallpaper or t-shirt or whatever it is that you want. Oi! Here we've got another ghost. What's with the insects? Have you noticed that there's like a few pictures with insects? I'm guessing there's like symbolism there. The insects. The ghost of Sasayo from the kabuki drama Konomano Hoshi Hakone no Shikabue. I'm getting confused because I'm very bad at reading out Romaji. I'm much better at reading out from the Japanese, but I want to read you the English translation so that you actually understand. Anyway, and with that, we've reached the end. We've reached the end of the. God damn it. We've reached the end of the ghost section, the Kabuki ghost section, and now we're on to the world of demons and monsters. Look at that one down there. That's a mood. The one on the left. I'm sad that I'm dying. Oh, it's like a little rabbit frog. Shall we take a little break and have a look at the buns? My arm's a little bit sore, so I'm gonna take the liberty to take a little break here. Maybe they had their doors open a lot and insects coming into their homes was just normal. I mean, that was a kabuki thing. Like a painting used for a kabuki slide, so you'd think they wouldn't depict it unless it was relevant to the plot. Oh, she wants some more. Hey! Okay, I'll be back in a sec. Alrighty. Okay, so that was a nice break, wasn't it? Oh dear, did I just... Oh god, I think I closed the... Bear with me, please. God. And my battery... got hay all over it. My battery is up to... it's down to 50%. I think it should be okay. Full screen, and then I press F11. There we go. So did I get hay all over the camera? No, I didn't. Hey there, Dark Star Mike. How's it going? All right, so we're back. Oh, jeez, this stand is really precarious. I'm glad I got it for so cheap, but I understand now why it went from, it was 70% off. Okay, so the world of demons and monsters. Look at that. Ooh, this is where we get the lovely fold out. So we start out with the picture scrolls of demons and monsters, which were apparently a big thing. Okay. A picture scroll of 100 demons in the night. I wonder if there's actually 100 of them. Hold on, just scratch my nose after giving the buns some more hay. Oh my god, I just saw the best thing. Look at that. That one there. That's so why? Oh my god, I feel like that's a real big mood too. This is basically me trying to get through life. Anyway. So yeah, look at how well this book is has been produced. Look how much thought's gone into it. Let me try to get everything. Someone do the counting for me. Is this 100? I think it goes over onto the other side as well. Oh jeez. Okay, yeah, there's no way I'm going to be able to hold this open. I'll do my best, at least to just show you how cool this is. I wonder if you could get a copy of this if you wanted it. So sorry I can't show you this properly. It's been very difficult to hold. Is that like a nose demon over there? Is that like just a nose? Intriguing. Nobody knows. That's like Cousin It in a top hat or something. I mean, bowler hat. Okay, I think it's just gone black and white. Has it? No, it hasn't. Good. Wait, did I fold this incorrectly? I did. Ah. Bear with me. Let's turn the page here. What a cool centerfold, right? Look at that. We've got more of the amazing vertical things, but look at this, like entirely black. Like the background, and then it's just sort of bronzish. So cute. Monsters of tea utensils and musical instruments. That's adorable. Look at that. What a cute concept. Oh, lovely. Imagine the idea of like monsters and tea utensils. That's so cute. Do we have any more takers for the debate on which are cooler, ghosts or monsters? So far, I think there's been one vote for monster. Is that Thomas the Tank Engine? on top there. Like a really creepy Thomas the Tank Engine on someone else's body. Oh, sorry, I should... So that is monsters of a lacquered wash basin and a vanity box. This over here, if I can frame the whole thing properly. This is Susanoo no Mikoto, mythological god overcoming monsters. Alright, doesn't look very successful to me, but I'll take your word for it that he is overcoming them. Then this one's just monsters. It's like something out of Where the Wild Things Are. Look at that background. It's cool. Really, no one's gonna buy... The one on the right reminds me of Where the Wild Things Are. I'm sure this came first. Yeah, I think a lot of them are reminding me of Where the Wild Things Are. I think because of the sort of monster hybrids. Bloodborne has some really good adaptations of traditional humans and monsters. That's probably why I can't play it. Oh. Sun Wukong in Journey to the West and 100 Demons in the Night. Wow, look at the composition here. Just all this noise, and then they're sort of contained by this line. That's really cool. And I like how in this one here, how the monsters are all pretty much, you know, like grayscale, black and white. You see, see the spider demon over there? I think that's a spider demon. And then the people are in color. I think that's, like, there's some compositional things which I didn't really expect that sort of, you know, because Japanese traditional art is always sort of, I guess, judged on its simplicity. And so I never really thought much about composition of, like, I didn't really expect much from it because I thought that a lot of it came from just the stylism. But there's some really brilliant, like, look at that, the spider sort of weaving the net and then pulling the net over this person. Look, spider monster producing monsters. That's so cool. This art style reminds me of Bosch. But yeah, this is why this exhibition really turned around how I saw classical Japanese art. I don't know if all classical Japanese art is this intricate in terms of the composition. It must be. I just don't like the subject matter, I suppose. So here we have a battle between troops of deities of medicine and monsters of diseases. That's awesome. Is that monster crying? It looks like it's doing this sort of anime tear things, but I don't... That can't be it. Oh look, it's Professor Zoidberg! Crow! There we've got... Oh wow, that looks like something out of Labyrinth. Not Pan's Labyrinth, but, you know, Labyrinth, the David Bowie sort of Jim Henson thing. Don't know why. Oh, look, it's a heffalump. The original picture there being this up here. Can you see it? Not very well. Those skeletons. Oh, wow. Oh, I want to show you. These also look like Muppets. You see on the right-hand side those figures? The white figures? They remind me of Muppets. Labyrinth Muppets. 100 Demons in the Night. That's the name of this one. I always thought David Bowie was in Pan's Labyrinth. Are you serious? You're taking the piss, right? Pan's Labyrinth is the Guillermo del Toro film, and Labyrinth is like the Brian Froud, Jim Henson production. Japanese art got really into doing scenes and views from set perspectives around the 1600s once the Edo period started. Before that, it wasn't that big into composition, kind of comparably to European medieval art and the abstract no-scale look ahead. Oh, interesting. I thought David Bowie was in the Del Toro movie. Huh, was he even alive at that point? I think he must have been, right? Look at those people dancing with, like, katakana heads. I'm guessing that's not katakana heads. That's just kanji, which became katakana, I guess. Maybe? But then there's some that are definitely kanji and some that are, that says shit. That says uni. Hamu. Oh, okay, yeah, that is katakana. What does it say? It says a monster picture caricaturing the Tokugawa shogunate. What? Okay, so that's a closer up version of some of it. So this is parodying the Tokugawa shogunate. That's interesting. Look at that! Oh my god, he's got a big head! Well, there you go. If only Bowie were still here to realize your vision, that movie would have been awesome. Yeah, right? Oh, this is an interesting one. It looks kind of Da Vinci-esque. It's like Da Vinci meets Lewis Carroll, a procession of monsters of lights. Look at that, and you've got like the depiction of light in there as well. Wow, and that one's going, ooh, I'm a light. That's really cool. Can't believe we're only in chapter 2. How many chapters are there in this book? I'm so tired. When is the parody from of the Tokugawa shogunate? That's from 1864. I might do this in 2 parts because I'm getting a bit tired just of like moving everything around. There's like a snake lady there. So it's just like a bunch of different ghosts here. Can you see those on the top? Wow, the one on the right hand side in the middle has a weird nose. Oh, look at that one! Why, hello there. On the left hand side. Oh yeah. Nukekubi. That's little long neck lady there. And here's another pullout, which I will try my best to show you in its entirety. Is that a kappa? Looks kind of like a kappa, but like a really weird kappa. I've never seen a kappa like that before. Wow. Oh, God, I love these pull-out things. They're so cool. So this is from a scroll depicting 30 demon-like creatures. Look at that one. Wow. Oh! Oh, that one looks really sad. Sorry that it can't focus really well on everything. It's trying its best. I love the way that at the bottom it's kind of like a continuous scene. Oh, the one on the left there. Kamikiri. Oh, it cuts your hair. It appears from out of nowhere. And while you don't notice, it cuts and takes your hair. Okay, it's fair enough, I guess. Surprise haircut. Oh, did I just break my desk? No, I didn't. Thank goodness. Okay. Ugh. Ooh, now it's a bigger version of some of those. So, again, it's a little bit awkward. I'm sorry I can't show it to you properly. Oh, wow. I love the sad cow spider. There's the snake lady looking very pleased with herself. Oh, and the kitty! The kitty looking very pleased with itself as well. Look at that! The original furry. Look at that. All the cool stuff. That reminds me of some Thai paintings I've seen of the Ramayana story, which intrigues me that it does that. Okay, so this is from the same fold out, yeah. Okay, so turning the page. Oh, we got more big uns. I'm guessing these are from the same, yeah, they're from the same pull out thing. I love that guy over there. It looks kind of like a little, let me show it. It's kind of like a gremlin Rowan Atkinson on the right hand side there. Oh, look at those black teeth. Those luscious lips. Ah! Let me see, how much longer have we got to go with the monsters? Okay, we'll get up to demons, and then I'll call it a night so I can rest my arm and my face. Oh, cool, so it has the pull out, and then it just gives you the whole thing but bigger. That's great. So you get like the big version. That's very cool. Oh, I guess that's a phoenix sort of thing. Oh, that person looks really depressed. Oh, it's a poor lady and her baby. I guess that's the kitsune demon. If you don't rest your face, that's how you'll end up looking. Oh, jeez, God forbid. Oh, God, there's more of them. Ugh. Oh, it's a blobfish! Yes! Karasu Inu, which I guess is like the one on the top right, like the crow dog. Shiroi yokai, it's just like white monster. No, it's a blobfish. They discovered the blobfish. Oh, look at that. That's really cool. All the different faces. Oh, that's cool. I wish you could see it. There's the little rabbit frog. That one's got COVID. Poor thing. Oh gosh, yeah, it doesn't look well at all. Wait, is that guy's balls? What? Let me see. What? Is that? I'm very confused. I feel like I'd have to. Old man balls, they call it. That's just like wild woman. A wild woman appears. Oh, that I would not like to see that giant frog thing in the sea or anything in the sea. I'd just rather not go to the sea. Oh, look at the little thing on the roof. Oh, little kitty. depressed man and creepy lady. Oh wow, I want those kind. Look at those feet. Is she lifting up like dog poo or something? Ushi onna. Cow woman? No, I mean, like, that's not the kanji for cow, but I don't know what it's the kanji for. I never learned that one. Oh, look at the little octopus there. That's cute. Whoa! Look at that! It looks like modern day furry art. I'm pretty sure I've seen a fursuit that looks like that. Wow, that's cool. Blobfish are only blobs when they're taken up to low pressure environment. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's terrible. It's like you're seeing them at a state that they're not meant to be. It's like putting us into a black hole and taking a photo of us and calling us like stretch person. Some of this stuff looks like it could be genuine furry art from nowadays, like that lizard as well. Oops. Guessing that's like some weeping woman. That little wizened old frog? So cool. You got like a snake lady here as well. Whoa! What is that? Bloody hell! Look at that big mouth. The 6-hole ghost. No, the big hole ghost. Sorry. What's that? Stuff's so cool. That's a kitty. It's a kitty. Oh, does that lady not... Oh, her head's floating. That's cool. Creepy man. Whoa, look at that face. Wow. Okay, turn the page. A scroll depicted. When was that? It's anonymous. Okay, I don't know. Oh, cool! They've got all the big ones there anyway. You've even got like the ball man. It's so weird. Old ball man. They call me Old the Ball Man. Wait, what? Oh, the snake's coming out of his legs. No wonder he looks so apprehensive. The Google Lens Translate thing kind of works on this book. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, we are up to demons, and that's where I'm going to call it a night, I think, just because my arm is getting very tired. How much have we got left? So we're on page 115, and okay, and there's just about 200 pages before the list of works. So we're halfway there. Nice. Okay, and we didn't get up to the picture which had the cool composition. So anyway, this is the book. I'm curious as to whether you can still get it, because it was produced by the Osaka History Museum, is my understanding, as part of its exhibition on ghosts and monsters. And I don't know, maybe you can still order a copy if it's something that interests you. But yeah, it's definitely helped me. Let me just back to me. There we go. It's helped me to I guess, oi, stop it. Ah. It's helped me to reflect a little bit on how I would do this if I wanted to make a photography project which looks at the concept of, the vengeful ghost, the Onryo, as a trauma fantasy. And I'm going to use, if I do it, I'd be using my friend Shuklia, who's part Japanese, to sort of help me, to consult on it and make sure that it's, sensitive. But yeah, I like ghosts. They're really interesting. I'm glad that you enjoyed the stream. I'm not sure, probably I'll be back on maybe Wednesday night to do some more of this, and then hopefully we'll finish off that game we were playing, Orwell. That was fun. I've been enjoying that game. I just didn't really feel up to it today because I was feeling a bit down. But looking at this book has cheered me up. So thank you all for humoring me. I'm going to go find someone to raid now. Once I can move everything around and actually sit down properly. Do I have a new haircut? A few people have been asking me that lately. I haven't. I think people do tend to ask me that when I haven't washed my hair for a few days. So maybe that's got something to do with it. Oh, and if you're interested, this is from the Japan Ukiyo-e Museum. It's a postcard. It doesn't actually credit it. I think this might be Ikuko. I think Ikuko, it kind of evokes the ring. Oh, well, Ringu. So you can sort of get an idea about how Ringu was influenced by more classical ghost stories in Japan. The fact that this is a ghost coming out of a well. Interesting stuff. IMO. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I really like the book streams, if I'm completely honest. I really miss doing the comic streams. I need energy to do them is the thing, and because I've been doing these courses, I end up sort of a little bit low on energy, so oftentimes video games is the easiest thing for me to do to relax and unwind. Yeah, I'm always really happy when I sort of am in a place to do one of those reading streams, because they give me a lot of joy. Okay, who we gonna raid today? Let me see. Who have we got online? We got a bunch of people online. Lots and lots of people online. Absters is playing The Forest. Absters. I don't remember ever raiding Absters before, but I'm following them. So they may be a person of color. I tend to follow people of color for the most part. Because I'm a racist. No, because I'm not a racist and I'm actively trying to not be racist, which generally means favoring people of color, who are traditionally overlooked. But anyway, regardless of their ethnic background, let's get our Hongsin chat ready. And yeah, thanks again for joining me. I had a lot of fun, and I'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao!